Hello everyone, Reginald Scott here and welcome to the video. Hope you're all doing well, and as always, if I could ask you a favor, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share and hit the notification bell. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. So in today's video, we're going to be spraying a pair of Fizik R5 Tempo Power Strap shoes, which are cycling shoes from Fizik, with a can of this stuff, which is Flex Seal, made famous by the meme, "That's a lot of damage."
No, that's a lot of damage!
And I've never used this stuff myself before, but I hear good things and I see good results from other people on various different projects. And I'm very interested to see whether this stuff can actually save this pair of cycling shoes. Now, what's going on here? These are a new pair of cycling shoes. They've never been sold, never been bought, never been used outside in the real world, but unfortunately from years and years of customers coming in, touching and trying these shoes on, they have actually deteriorated, so much so in fact that the surface of the shoe is coming off. This section
That's
here
a lot of damage.
sanded with some scouring pad to try and get rid of the flecks of white stuff that keeps coming off the shoe. But you can see all over the shoe it's deteriorating in various different locations. Like I say, this is just a result of age and of skin acid and things like that, maybe temperature as well. And it's really unfortunate because this was, you know, a brand new shoe and it's basically been destroyed before I could even sell it. So rather than throw these shoes away or try and sell them in this condition, I have another idea. Luckily, these shoes are actually in my size. They're 42s.
42?
So I thought, why not try and save them and use them myself as maybe a backup shoe or a gravel shoe or something like that. Now, the other part of the plan is that I'm going to mask up the shoes. I've got some masking tape here. Hopefully it's enough. I'm going to mask up the shoes on any area which is currently black, because I only want to spray the white areas of the shoe. I don't want to spray the straps. I want to keep the straps as original. I don't want to spray any of these soft sections here. I don't want to spray the logo. I don't want to spray the underside too much. So I'm just going to mask off all the areas of the shoe that I don't want to spray, and try and keep those free of this paint, this rubber paint. It might be a total disaster. There might be some chemical in here that reacts badly with the material and the whole thing falls apart. Who knows? But we shall give it our best shot. Right, time for masking. Okay, the shoes are all taped up. I don't know how good my taping job is, but I've tried to, like I say, protect any of the black areas and leave all the white areas open. Yeah, you can see it's not a great job. But a little bit of overspray is going to be okay. Hopefully we won't notice it too much because the rest of the background will be black. The instructions for this say you've got to shake it well first, using a well ventilated area of course, and I actually misread the instructions. It's not 24 hours to cure, it's 48 hours. So spraying these in 2 coats is going to take several days. But there you go. All right, let's get cracking. Okay folks, the spraying process is finished. I did 2 coats and I waited 48 hours in between each coat. And the finish is a little bit lumpy, sort of textured. It's not too bad, but as you can see, it does have a sort of a textured finish to it. I used a metal awl, like a spike basically, to poke out any holes that were filled up with the solution. During the spraying process, I'm particularly bad at spraying things, so I tend to be quite impatient and I want to cover everything in the first coat, which is a big mistake when it comes to spray paint or any kind of spray. What you should do is do gentle, thin layers and then, you know, wait patiently and do it again. But like I say, I was in a hurry, so I loaded it on way too much, and I think I put a bit too much in certain places. Here is fine, but you can see here it looks a bit strange, and that's as a result of there being too much paint. And then this strap, I think, flopped down and touched the side of the shoe, and so you can just see the white coming through there. So I need to touch that up. What I intend to do is remove all the paper, and then once that's all removed, I'm going to go over it again to areas that I've missed with a cotton bud, and I'm going to spray some of the paint solution or the rubber solution into here, like I say, and just touch it up with a cotton bud, so like a mini paintbrush. Just try and get rid of any areas that are white. But so far, it looks okay. Only time will tell. Durability-wise, I don't know yet. The shoe is still flexible. Certainly looks a lot better than it did. Tacky to the touch, but it doesn't appear to be coming off in my hands, which is good as well. There's some more of that damage that got sprayed over. You can just about see it. Interesting. So, a bit of a disaster when removing the tape. All the areas where the tape was near the edge is pulled up the rubber. So I don't know what I'm going to do about this, because that's like worst case scenario. I guess I'm going to have to cut it and then try and paint it by hand. So I've gone around with a sharp blade and just cleaned up all the edges where the Flex Seal didn't quite stick as I peeled away the tape. So I've learned a valuable lesson, basically, which is that this Flex Seal stuff, I assumed it would act like spray paint. When you spray paint something, you tape right up to the edge, and when you peel the tape away, you get a perfect line. This stuff acts more like a skin. So what you're looking at here is not a paint, but a single skin which is wrapped around the entire shoe. So if you start to peel the skin, the whole thing potentially can peel off. So by cutting it very finely with a knife, hopefully I prevented that from peeling any further, and now I can just touch up these areas by hand. Now I could rewrap everything in tape and spray it again, but I don't really want to overload these edges, to be honest with you. I don't want to add more layers to this. Maybe I'll have to in the end, but at the moment I hope I can just touch it up and it won't be too noticeable. So yes, if you are going to do this, don't tape right up to the edge. Tape a bit lower than the edge and allow it to overspray, because that overspray is going to save you from this problem, which is where when you peel the tape off, you actually take the material with you. So this is the finished product. I've gone round and touched up all the edges to hide any of the white, and it's not perfect, but I'm actually really happy with how they've turned out. They look really good. They almost look like they're supposed to be this way. Kind of a little bit of a leather effect to them. So yeah, even if this all goes horribly wrong from this point, they look nice right now. So tomorrow I'm going to take them for a ride, see what the durability of the shoe is like, whether the surface actually holds on, or whether it starts to crack as soon as I start to flex the shoe. But they seem to have retained flexibility of the material. We'll just have to see how it goes tomorrow. So yeah, if all else fails, at least they look nice right now. Pretty nice. All right, folks, I've been out on a couple of rides already with these shoes, and they've been holding up pretty well. Generally, the finish seems to be fine. The only areas that are failing is here, where the shoe is really flexing a lot, we're getting some cracks, as you can see. Now, these cracks or splits were actually present in the underlying material of the shoe. So I'm guessing they're just naturally there. And over time, what I can do, I think, is just coat them again. And if I coat them in the gaps where it's splitting and over the top of the gaps where it's splitting, I think eventually those will go away. I don't think the material is tearing all the way through. I just think the surface material that was failing is still failing and is still splitting. So, but it's not super noticeable. It's on the inside of my foot, not the outside of my foot. You see the outside is absolutely fine. We've got a little scuff there where I've been hitting my cranks. But, you know, where it's been scuffing up against the crank, it's actually held up pretty good. Same again on this side. Just some of these hairline cracks appearing in the material. But again, I think, you know, if it gets really bad and really noticeable, I'll just sort of like put some tape up here and just do another quick spray, or just like hold a sheet of paper here or something and just do another quick spray. I also have some extra in this syringe, which is staying liquid. I was actually using this to touch up the edges. So as I say, if I want, I can just inject some into the edges here and it should get rid of that problem. So not like 100% successful. My feet do sweat quite a lot in these, but I have vented them completely, like all the original vent holes are there. It's just, these are not a very breathable shoe anyway, not like my R1s and R2s, which are really well vented, because this is a cheaper shoe. So this would be better if you're in the UK. In fact, in the UK, if you had a shoe like this, I would seriously consider it for winter, like just get a cheap pair of cycling shoes which are vented like this. Maybe they've got vents in the toes or something. Tape up the straps and then just do like 3 or 4 layers of this Flex Seal, and you would basically create a completely watertight shoe by filling up all the vent holes. And it would be great in sort of -1, -2 temperature riding in the UK. For rain and for cold weather, they would be absolutely awesome. And this is super waterproof, this 2 layers of spray-on rubber. There you go. Thanks for watching, folks. Really appreciate it. Hope this was useful or informative. And as always, when you're out riding, stay safe.